truck was actually coming from Ring Road. It missed a step. So as it was trying to gather itself, it fell.
What we are witnessing these days, it is something we can no longer understand.
They should stop telling us and promising us all those promises are fake, giving us details of promises are fake. We don't want it anymore.
Good evening and thank you for joining us on BTV Major News at 6. My name is Temitope Oluwafemi. And now to the news. The First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has provided financial support of 200,000 naira each to 250 persons in Edo State. Under the Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program, the support was delivered on her behalf by the coordinator of the Office of the First Lady of Edo State, Mrs. Edesili Anani, who represented the First Lady at the event. The report is presented. Senior reporter
Let me start by welcoming and appreciating the Executive Governor of Edo State because he's our father.
Mrs. Edesili Anani explained that the gesture was aimed at improving the welfare of senior citizens and ensuring that the elderly continue to live with dignity despite prevailing economic challenges. According to her, the Renewed Hope Initiative places strong emphasis on social inclusion and care for vulnerable groups, particularly the aged, noting that the program reflects the First Lady's commitment to compassionate governance and people-oriented interventions.
I am delighted to join you today on the third edition of the Renewed Hope Initiative Elderly Support Scheme, with the theme, Finding Joy in Old Age. The social investment program embodies our ongoing effort to ensure that our elderly citizens live with dignity and joy in a nation genuinely cares for its own.
Beneficiaries of the initiative expressed gratitude to the First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, for the timely intervention, describing the process as transparent and well organized. Many hailed the initiative as a life-changing gesture that would help them meet basic needs, including health care, food, and other essential expenses. They also commended the Renewed Hope Initiative for prioritizing the welfare of the elderly and called for the sustenance of similar programs across the country.
Baba Jehovah, never the governor no semane. O daru re ijaru. O daru re first lady no me na my pikin. Na me born now. Baba Jehovah, help am. They kwa ku ijaru daru re keke. I
appreciate this gift. Wonderful. I describe it. God is your star. God will bless her in Jesus' name. I expect that God will give her long life.
If they want contest again, may God bless them. People go vote for them because all this thing they do for us today. Thank them. I never see this kind. I never see. This is my first time, and God will bless them for us.
I'm very happy. Who remember old person, God will remember them. So, as now remember the old people, man and woman, God will remember us. Now remember the old men. I'm very happy. I will use it to buy this for my family. We enjoy it together for the Christmas period.
The Renewed Hope Initiative Social Investment Program continues to serve as a key platform through which the First Lady of Nigeria supports vulnerable populations, reinforcing the federal government's broader agenda of social protection and inclusive development. Best Orator reporting for BTV News.
The former Deputy Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly and member representing Asen Northeast constituency, Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko, has assured the people of Uzea community in Eastern Northeast Local Government Area, Edo State, that prompt action will be taken to improve security in the area. Beetv News' Osarogia Agwebo reports that Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko gave the assurance during a meeting with representatives of Uzea community who visited her at the House of Assembly to express concerns over the rising insecurity between the area. The report.
During the meeting with the former Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko, delegate of Uzea community in Eastern Northeast Local Government Area, decried the rising insecurity in the area. Speaking on behalf of the delegate, the immediate past president of Edo Baptist Conference, Reverend Dr. Frank Ezele, said Uzea is facing severe security challenges which have resulted in the tragic loss of lives and the displacement of families. He noted that the once peaceful community is now gripped by fear and anxiety, with residents living in constant uncertainty. Reverend Dr. Ezele stated that Right Honorable Maria Edeko, their representative in the House of Assembly, has demonstrated effective representation through several landmark projects in the community, which is why they have come to seek for our urgent intervention on critical security priorities to address insecurity in the area.
Urgent community appeal for security intervention in Uzea. So we are requesting for the provision of 3 Kilos patrol vehicles, one for the Uzea police station, the second one for the Nigeria Security and Defense Corps, NSCDC, and then the other one for the local vigilante operating strictly under the police supervision. Number 2, construction of a secure perimeter fence for Uzea police station.
In a response, the former Deputy Speaker and member representing Eastern Northeast Constituency 2, Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko, assured the people of Uzea community that urgent measures are already being taken to tackle insecurity in the area. She said, as the chairman on security at the Edo State House of Assembly, and with the determination, support and commitment of Governor Okpebholo in tackling insecurity in the state, the issue would be addressed promptly. She also appealed to community leaders to collaborate in preventing criminal activities, including drug dealing. Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko added that in her support for fighting insecurity, she has facilitated several initiatives in Uzea and her constituency in general, including the construction of a police station and the donation of power bikes and motorcycles, along with other initiatives she is currently working on. She assured that all necessary measures would be taken to eradicate insecurity in the area. The lawmaker also highlighted key projects she has facilitated in the community, including in infrastructure, education and health, and pledged to carry out more developmental projects.
I remember I donated a power bike to the vigilante at Uzea. I also donated a motorbike for vigilante at Uzea. And recently, I built a police station at the National Institute of Construction Technology, Uromi and Dinamenogan. I will always do what I can do for my people, because there is no greater reward than seeing that your people are happy.
Some other indigents of Uzea community thank Right Honorable Mrs. Maria Edeko for the reception and her continued support to their community, while expressing optimism that with her assurance, the issue of insecurity will soon be tackled in their community.
You said you are now the chairman, Committee on Security in the House. I know that you said that 2026 will be better for all of us.
The committee that we are heading is a very vital committee in our environment. Please, promise Emmanuel, you will send it back to us. Promise us before we did it. I believe in whatever you have said. I'm proud of you. The grant and the steps you took, you didn't let us down. You showed to the people that are from the community and the constituency that own self-esteem and that knows exactly what they are doing. You don't follow times. You don't follow the crowd. That you choose to do things your own way. We are proud. We are glad that we know you. It's our time. And please rest assured that when you need us, we'll be with you.
The meeting concluded on an optimistic note that insecurity in the community will soon be addressed. Osarogi Agwebo, reporting for Beetv News.
Member representing Oredo East constituency at the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo, has returned to the All Progressive Congress APC at the local government level after he recently joined the party at the ward level, making a significant political realignment within the state's political landscape. Beetv News' Courage Ayodele, who monitored the event, reports that his decision to join the All Progressive Congress was described as a strategic move driven by his renewed commitment to progressive governance, party unity, and people-oriented leadership. The report is presented by Beetv News senior reporter Best Orator.
Joy and excitement filled the air when the honorable member representing Oedo East constituency at the Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo, was welcomed by the leadership of APC in Oedo local government area at the party secretariat. The gathering had in attendance the Deputy Speaker of Edo State House of Assembly, Honorable Osamoyi Evagweita, local government party leaders, chairmen, secretaries, youths, and women leaders of the different wards and others. In his remarks, Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo reaffirmed his belief in the APC core idea of accountability, development, and sustainable governance. He emphasized that the party remains the most viable platform for advancing democratic dividends and addressing the socio-economic needs of the people, and he therefore appealed to them to wholeheartedly accept him back with an open hand, as he is fully ready to work with the Executive Governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, to bring about the dividends of democracy to the people.
Myself present is formally identified in the local government of APC in Oredo. Having identified in my ward some days ago, I deem it fit to also come in person to present myself, to identify with the executive of Oredo, the leaders of Oredo, the ward chairman and women leader, to tell you formally that I have personally with my people and others that are yet to come, not to join APC, homecoming. Like I told them in my word, that homecoming. I'm happy to be back home.
The chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Oedo local government, Mr. Osamu Diame Osayenho, applauded Honorable Omosigo for his move and announced that he is fully integrated into the party's activities and decision-making process, stating that he have their backing and called on members to embrace unity and collective responsibility ahead of future political engagements.
You're coming to join APC, you will never ever regret it. Because in APC, we are all one.
On his part, the Deputy Speaker of the State House of Assembly, Honorable Samoyi Evagweita, appreciated the people for their part and thanked the Oedo local government leadership of the APC for accepting their son back, and said that with this move, Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo is fully ready to work with the people and to make the party great. In a symbolic gesture signifying unity and renewed alliance, the chairman of the All Progressives Congress in Oedo local government, Mr. Osamu Diame Osayenho, formally presented the broom, the symbol of the APC, to Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo. The presentation reaffirmed Honorable Omosigo's return to the APC and his commitment to upholding the party's ideas, principles, and collective vision for progressive governance.
Today, we are giving you this symbol as symbol of APC.
In an interview with Beetv News, Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo and Honorable Osamoyi Evagweita commended the governor of Edo State, Senator Monday Okpebholo, for his giant strides and stated that rejoining the APC is remarkable, and with his welcome back to the fold of APC, continuity is key commitment.
My constituents first before any individual. So seeing that the governor is working very well, and I don't want my constituents to lag behind, so I want to get the governor to develop Edo, to ensure that Edo is in safe hands, and that the executive governor distinguished Senator Beetv finish well, and Orodo is carried along. It's true that people are coming. It's because of the good work His Excellency Senator Beetv is doing in this state. By the grace of God, His Excellency is a very gentle, dutiful man. He's a man that has passion for people. When they come, I know he will accept them.
Honorable Uyi Frank Omosigo's return to the All Progressives Congress underscores the party's appeal as a platform for progressive leadership and signals a renewed phase of political engagement focused on development, stability, and the collective aspirations of the people. Best Orator reporting for BTV News.
Some road users have expressed concern over the recurring accidents on Ugbo-Lagos Road, describing the situation as worrisome and blamed reckless driving for the frequent clashes. BTV News' Sarogi Agwebo reports that they advised motorists to reduce their speed and adhere to traffic regulations, particularly during this festive period when traffic volume on the road is usually high. The report.
Frequent accidents on the Ugbo-Lagos Expressway in Benin City have become a major concern, particularly incidents where vehicles ram into drainage channels, slabs, and road pavement, causing damage and raising safety concerns for residents using the road. The latest occurred when a Camry reportedly rammed into the iron pavement at the University of Benin main gate. Road users described the situation as worrisome and attributed the frequent crashes primarily to reckless driving. They advised motorists to reduce their speed and adhere to traffic regulations, particularly during this festive period where traffic volume on the road is usually high, to help prevent accidents and ensure the safety of all road users.
In as far as an automobile, it was manufactured to be driven by someone. This same machine can also disappoint you. So when driving these automobiles, you have to be very careful. There's a limit on where you can drive, how you can drive, and when to drive. But I really don't know what is wrong. Probably they are affected with drugs, speed, and all. But the government should look into this issue because it has claimed a lot of youth, especially from Ugbo down to Ikiadolo. Yeah, most times you see cars who just hang on top of the slab.
Drivers should be very careful because of the closeness to the students' campus, because if they don't slow down, there's every possibility that they can hit any one of the passers-by, especially the students, which is wrong. So they should drive carefully.
The road users also urged the Federal Road Safety Corps to intensify efforts in ensuring drivers adhere to traffic regulations. They also called on the government to repair failed portions of the road to allow smooth vehicular movement, noting that this will go a long way in reducing accidents, particularly during this festive period.
We need road safety, we need the government, we need a lot of speed breakers to reduce the speed of these people driving up, especially from Ugbo down to Ikiadolo. Advice to drivers is, please limit your speed, don't take alcohol, don't smoke. You have speed limit, always use it, because life is precious. We don't have two, we have just one.
Such a measure that should put a check in place.
While the Ugbo-Lagos Expressway is a busy road, motorists are expected to drive with care to ensure the safety of all road users. Sarogi Agwebo, reporting for BTV News.
During festive season, road usually witnesses increased human and vehicular movement. Families are traveling to reunite with loved ones, traders are transporting goods, while commercial activities are at its peak. Although this period is marked by joy and celebration, it is however disturbing that the rise in road accidents are linked to overspeeding by commercial drivers, especially bus drivers. BTV News' Precious Agbonlaho reports that residents are appealing to commercial drivers to drive cautiously this period. The report.
One, they should make sure that, yes, just as I've said before, they screen out underage from being send them back to school. And let's have a limit you can that you can get to before you allow to run a commercial as a commercial driver.
Festive season are timed for cheer and celebration, a period where families and friends come together to share joy. However, it is also a time where road users increase, making safety a top priority. Residents are urging drivers, especially commercial bus drivers, to reduce speed and drive responsibly to avoid accident and could turn celebration into mourning. They emphasize the need for conscience, patience and responsibility while on the road, noting that increased traffic and celebration should not be the reason for reckless driving.
Reckless driving is not only just by this festive season. It has been like that. All bus to design that we don't have trained drivers. You see underage on steering, driving license. So I think government needs to do more by making sure that all drivers are licensed and you be of age before you're allowed to apply the road.
You know, this place, our parking is no good. I get to me. This Kukro Junction and Negro Junction is no good. I get to me. All those people that are blocking anywhere, they come to this way, you cannot see anywhere to park. I get to me. Please, local government to make sure they take over everything.
Residents are calling on transport companies and government to intensify safety awareness and also deploy road safety officials on the road for safety purpose, and also to ensure that underage individuals are not allowed behind the wheels. This distress is crucial to ensuring safety during the festive season when road activities tend to increase significantly.
The government is doing quite a lot, I must confess. I am 80 plus now, so I know what I'm saying. The thing is that our drivers appear to be always in a hurry, and that is the predicament. That is the state of affairs. They want to be there before you. So if government can take care of that ugly situation, I think it will serve the state better.
Them implement first. This is not the first time they are banning it. It's always been banned every year, and the same thing happens. So I think it's just, oh, let's just do it so that it won't look like we're not doing anything. That's what I see there.
The Public Relations Officer of Edo State Traffic Management Agency, Mr. Andrew Osusu, said a memo has been issued to ensure proper safety and effective operations during the festive period. He added that the directive is aimed at maintaining orders, protecting public facilities, and guaranteeing a safe and enjoyable environment and road for residents and visitors within Edo State.
Presently, there was a memo that was passed yesterday by the management with regards to officers going to the road in full force for the sake of traffic control. You know, this Christmas period is usually a time when we experience massive inflow of motorists from around the country, and also our people in diaspora visiting Edo State. You should also be aware that recruitment has not really been done lately in ESMA, and we are expecting the state government to look into that. But with the few officers we have, we've withdrawn everybody from various duties, and we have, deployed them to the roads for traffic control, which is the core reason for this agency, the Traffic Control and Management and Enforcement. Officers will be drawn from selected offices and sent to the road. If you observe now, you will see that the place is scanty. Before, it's usually, so even some people that are in various departments making sure the agency is running, some of them have been redeployed to the road for traffic control. This market that usually happen at Ring Road during Yota season will not happen this year. That is the goal. And in order to make that work, there's a task force, a joint task force team that has been set up, and it comprises of the Nigerian Police Force, the Army, the Federal Road Safety Corps, local governments, vigilante. ESMA is the driving force. Then you have Edo State Transport Authority, you have Edo State Ministry of Transportation. So it's a joint task force that will be moving around to ensure that the traffic law is enforced and maintained in Edo State.
It is, however, hoped that this season, motorists will exercise caution, obey traffic rules, and prioritize safety over speed. Precious Agbolahor reporting for BTV News.
In view of the current economic hardship in the country, citizens have been advised to make proper financial plans ahead of the new year, even as they make preparations for the festive season. The report.
Anything you are using for the Christmas, you need to share it into 3.
use one side and reserve the other 2 for January. It's very, very important.
Preparing for January bills well in advance is a cornerstone of sound personal finance, a practice that shifts one from reactive spending to proactive financial management. Speaking with newsmen, residents advise individuals not to spend all their resources on preparations for the festive season but to plan ahead for the future. Others noted that the new year is more demanding financially as it often comes with increased rent, school fees and other bills to be settled.
Financial plan against. So why some, all their mind, we are celebrating Christmas and whatever, so they save towards the end of the year. It's only few that have that mindset. It's okay, after the celebration, what will I fall back into? Due to the economic hardship now, it is not easy, and in that period again, the landlords also increase their house rent. So at times it drives some people crazy. So it is not, it's only few that have that mindset of those things when school, January, when school are resuming and whatever, paying off house bill, is only few that have that mindset that contribute, because most of the Nigerians' mind is by December I'm traveling home to enjoy whatever, so most of them don't think back when they come back. So when they come back, they start as fresh.
It's not advisable at all, because what is ahead is greater than what you are going to witness in December. So I think I will advise such a person to calm down. There's nothing, I don't think there's anything great. There's no big deal about December. So there's need to calm down and look ahead.
Some residents also recommended dividing available resources into 3 parts, one for the festive season, while the remaining 2 parts should be reserved for expenses in the new year.
You need to plan well. You don't need to spend all your resources because of the Christmas, because there are a lot of bills to pay January. Basic thing, house rent and school fees, and how to feed, and it's a very long month. So anything you are using for the Christmas, you need to share it into 3. Use one side and reserve the other 2 for January. It's very, very important.
As economic conditions remain challenging, many families believe that careful planning and discipline are key to starting the new year without financial strain. For them, preparing ahead for school fees and January bills is not just a choice, but a necessity for financial stability. Temitope Oluwafemi, reporting for BTV News. President Bola Tinubu has asked the Senate to approve the nominations of 2 new chief executives for the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority and the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. The request followed the resignation of Farouk Ahmed, former chief executive of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority, and Gbenga Komolafe, former chief executive of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Both officials were appointed in 2021 by former President Muhammadu Buhari. Its head the agencies established under the Petroleum Industry Act. In a letter to the Senate, President Tinubu requested the expedite confirmation of Orisha Mawa as Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and Sadu Mohammed as Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority. The nominees are described as seasoned professionals in the oil and gas industry. Leaders from the Obia Kingdom in Bayelsa State have called on President Bola Tinubu to consider seeking a renewed mandate in 2027. The delegation visited the State House to formally convey their message to the president. The Obia Kingdom, which is home to Olobiri, the site where oil was first discovered in commercial quantities in Nigeria, described the visit as a gesture of gratitude for the president's inclusive leadership and commitment to regional development. The leaders highlighted the appointment of several sons and daughters of the kingdom to key government positions, including Samuel Ugboku, the managing director of the Niger Delta Commission.
We will continue with that, and we won't let you down. And others who are very, very committed to the development of this country. You mentioned Jonathan. Jonathan is a very, very good leader. He's a good citizen. He's a good son of Nigeria. leader. In light of the above, it is a firm belief that Mr. President has done us well, and as such, we cannot help but to reciprocate a kind gesture by inviting Mr. President to contest the next presidential election, taking for granted the full support of the Burkina.
A greater thank you or greater work means a callback. Again, to call back to Mr. President and say, we are behind you. We are renewing your mandate. Possibly the Ogbia Kingdom should be the first kingdom, having enjoyed what we are enjoying now. To say, Mr. President, come 2027, we are with him.
The Nigerian Customs Service has intercepted undeclared foreign currency worth over 2.2 billion naira at Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos. An Australian national was arrested while attempting to leave the country with the concealed funds, in violation of Nigeria's anti-money laundering laws. The report.
Officers of the anti-money laundering unit at Murtala Mohammed International Airport intercepted the undeclared funds as the suspects prepared to board an Emirates airline flight to Dubai. A routine search of the passengers' luggage revealed 651,550 euros and 800,575 euros with a combined value of approximately 2.28 billion naira, which has been hidden and not declared. The customs area controller Chidi Wukoria identified the suspect as Kavlak Yunal. The passenger had initially denied carrying any currency, but a routine inspection exposed the concealed cash.
This interception aligns with the laws and acts which empower and confer on the Nigeria Customs Service the right to prevent illicit financial flows and ensure strict implementation of anti-money laundering obligations at all borders, particularly Section 12 of the Foreign Exchange, Monitoring and Miscellaneous Provision Act, 1995. Section 3, Article 3 to 5 of Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act, 2022, and Section 55, Item 1 of the Nigerian Customs Service Act 2023.
Controller Wukoria noted that while carrying foreign currencies above $10,000 is not illegal, failing to make an honest declaration is a criminal offense punishable by prosecution and forfeiture.
If you don't have anything to hide and you are into a legitimate business or trade, to make an honest and full declaration of your currency and other negotiable instruments that are above the threshold of $10,000.
I will also appreciate the custom for the synergy and the cooperation that we always have, and by extension, the executive chairman that is what we always do. The synergy is always what we always want. And the customer has actually brought it to us.
The suspect and the seized fund have been handed over to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission for further investigation. Customs authorities are urging travelers to make full and honest currency declarations to avoid legal consequences. Evelyn Isabella reported for Beetv News.
The Transcorp Hotel PLC has appointed Dr. Elumelu as chair of its board effective 1st January 2026, following the scheduled retirement of the current chair, Mr. Emmanuel Nomb. Dr. Elumelu, a medical doctor with an MBBS from the University of Benin and clinical experience in Nigeria and the United Kingdom, brings extensive expertise in healthcare, insurance, corporate governance, and philanthropy. She currently chairs Avon Healthcare Limited, a leading health maintenance organization in Nigeria, and Havon Medical Practice, a network of hospitals and clinics. Her executive education includes programs at Harvard Business School, IMD Switzerland, and the London School of Economics. The appointment reflects a strategic focus on integrating innovation, wellness, and responsible business practices into Transcorp. Dr. Elumelu is also a trustee and co-founder of the Tony Elumelu Foundation, which has supported over 24,000 African entrepreneurs through training, seed capital, mentorship, and initiatives promoting gender inclusion. The House of Representatives has launched an investigation into Nigeria's worsening drug abuse crisis to identify systemic failures. The probe also aims to hold key institutions accountable and address a growing menace that presents a threat to public health and national security. The report. Drug abuse remains one of Nigeria's most pressing public health and social challenges, with far-reaching consequences for individuals, families, and communities. Recent findings from the UN's 2025 World Drug Report confirmed cannabis as the most widely used drug globally, highlighting Nigeria's vulnerability within the broader international crisis. The House of Representatives panel has been mandated to uncover the truth, identify institutional weaknesses, and recommend strong corrective measures to reverse this disturbing trend.
We support industries, we value investors, and we welcome innovations. But no business model can be allowed to thrive at the expense of Nigerian lives.
Nigeria is dealing with a dangerous and rapidly escalating crisis, one that reaches into every family, every community, and every geographical zone.
The UN agency expressed fresh concerns over the scale of drug use in Nigeria, describing it as alarming. The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency reaffirmed its commitment to combating illicit drugs and substance abuse, pledging stronger collaboration and technical support for a more effective national response.
The world is witnessing a sophisticated evolution in the method used by drug traffickers, organizations, from the use of digital technologies to facilities transaction to the diversification of synthetic substance. The challenge is ever changing.
Now we are not just talking about cannabis, we are talking about synthetic cannabis. We talk about loud, Colorado, and what have you. And the youths are taking, they don't even know what they are taking. They are actually synthesized in the lab. It's not just cannabis. Rapid rise in consumption of synthetic and designer drugs, including methamphetamine, which is called Imprumi in the East.
As the probe continues, lawmakers state that the goal is to shift Nigeria from reactive enforcement to a balanced evidence-based drug policy that protects public health while strengthening national security. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News. The National Economic Council has established a committee to fast-track livestock development as part of the federal government's efforts to address the farmer header crisis and strengthen food security. The report. The decision was made at the 155th meeting of the National Economic Council, held virtually and chaired by Vice President Kashim Shettima. A new livestock development committee, chaired by the Kebbi State Governor, will drive reforms across the sector with representatives from all 6 geopolitical zones and key federal ministries. Vice President Shettima emphasized that resolving the farmer header crisis is central to ensuring food security and national stability.
What began as a challenge of coexistence gradually hardened into cycles of violence that were allowed to persist for far too long without a durable solution. Today, that violence respects no geography. It has become a shared nightmare that has scared every region, disrupted livelihoods, and eroded trust between neighbors who once relied on one another for survival. The committee will review the recommendations of the Presidential Livestock Reform Committee and identify states ready to implement modern livestock production systems. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy emphasized that these reforms are critical for promoting economic growth and boosting investor confidence.
The progress that has been made under the able, courageous and bold leadership and economic reform program under the Renewed Hope agenda by His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, is clear and yet needs reinforcing. It needs to be sustained.
The Minister of Budget and Economic Planning stated that the initiative aligned with the government development's priorities. Vice President Kashim Shettima commended President Bola Tinubu for establishing a standalone Ministry of Livestock Development and urged states to fully embrace the reform agenda. The federal government stated that the livestock initiative aims to end decades of conflict, restore rural economies, and transform the sector into a modern and profitable engine of national development. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News. You're still watching BTV Major News at 6. We'll be going on a short break. Do stay with us.
Today, we're rolling our drums to celebrate a proud daughter of the mighty Afema land, a woman of purpose, a woman of valor, a woman of excellence with an unshakable faith, Umaru Patrick Dora Odufa, the CEO and founder of Dora's Touch Aesthetics Clinic and Spa, a top-tier medical aesthetics brand renowned for professionalism, innovation, and genuine care. Trained in the United Kingdom and certified at the master's level in aesthetics medicine by the Northern American Board of Aesthetics Medicine. She is dedicated to transforming lives, restoring confidence, and empowering people through beauty and wellness. Dora is a multi-business entrepreneur, visionary leader, and philanthropist. In 2023, she founded the Patrick Dora Help for the Helpless Foundation, an NGO focused on supporting vulnerable people, empowering women, uplifting families, and restoring hope across community. She's also actively involved in politics, driven by a strong commitment to service, leadership, development, and meaningful transformation. Her political journey is rooted in passion, integrity, and the desire to create opportunities and positive change for her people. A deeply spiritual woman, Dora is guided by her unwavering faith in God, her strong values, and her commitment to integrity. She is a woman who never compromises her values, a disciplined go-getter, and a symbol of resilience, grace, and purpose. Her life continues to speak loudly, a testimony of hard work, divine favor, and a destiny anchored in impact. Today, we raise our glasses to toast for a woman of inestimable value on the occasion of her birthday. Hip, 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 hooray! The message is endorsed by Idahosa Michael.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. And now to the world of business. Nigeria's textile imports climbed to 814.27 billion naira in the first 9 months of 2025, highlighting a growing dependence on foreign fabrics despite repeated assurance by the federal government that the sector is being revived. The report.
Trade data showed imports of 228.83 billion naira in the first quarter, 337.12 billion naira in the second, and 248.32 billion naira in the third, marking a 47.43% increase from the 552.31 billion recorded in the same period of 2024. Industry stakeholders said the surge in imports reflects the continued decline of local textile production, driven by policy inconsistencies, weak execution of intervention programs, and widespread corruption. They argue that access to affordable financing remains limited, promised reforms have stalled, and structural challenges such as poor cotton farming, insecurity, and limited local polyester capacity persist. The Nigerian Textile Manufacturers Association noted that government measures to revive the industry have largely remained rhetorical. It said a 10% levy introduced after the lifting of the textile import ban was meant to be reinvested in the sector, but the funds have not been effectively channeled towards improving competitiveness or reducing import dependency. Debt servicing and personnel costs exceeded the federal government's total revenue in the first 7 months of 2025, as earnings fell sharply below projections and capital spending suffered cuts. Data from the 2026 to 2028 medium-term expenditure framework showed that the government earned 13.67 trillion naira between January and July, far below the prorated target of 23.85 trillion naira. The resulting revenue gap of 10.19 trillion naira or 42.7% contradicted earlier claims that the country had met its 2025 revenue target ahead of schedule and reduced its reliance on borrowing. Despite assurances of improved non-oil revenue performance, the fiscal document revealed that overall receipts remain under significant pressure. The shortfall was largely driven by weak oil revenue, which stood at 4.64 trillion naira against a target of 12.25 trillion naira, representing a deficit of over 62%. Dividends from government-owned entities also underperformed, although some non-oil taxes such as company income tax slightly exceeded expectations, offering limited relief to the strained fiscal position. The federal government's Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway project has begun attracting strong interest from international investors, with 4 companies indicating willingness to refund the full cost of Section 1 in exchange for operating and tolling the road. The Minister of Works said the project was designed as an investment-led initiative rather than a traditional public work program.
According to the ministry, the government is directly funding about 30% of the highway's cost, while the remaining 70% is expected to come from international financiers. Officials describe the project as having a high return on investment and positioned it as part of a broader strategy to attract external funding into the economy. The coastal highway is being promoted as a strategic economic corridor intended to link and unlock multiple infrastructure projects nationwide. The minister also dismissed concerns raised over the project's procurement process, maintaining that due procedures were followed and that the road represents a long-term investment rather than a standalone construction effort. Temitope Oluwafemi reporting for BTV News. Police in northeastern Spain carried out a court-ordered eviction on Wednesday to remove around 400 mostly undocumented migrants from an abandoned school building they have been occupying in Badalona, near Barcelona. The report.
Officials said that most occupants left voluntarily before dawn, anticipating the eviction in the middle of winter as officers from Cataluna's regional office in riot gear entered the site early under the judicial order. The squad has been used as a makeshift shelter since 2023, primarily by migrants from Senegal and Gambia who had moved into the long-abandoned school due to a lack of affordable housing. Although the eviction was completed without major violence, there were tense moments as some residents walked past armored officers while leaving with their belongings. Authorities reported that 18 people were detained on suspicion of residing in Spain without proper authorization during the operation. City officials maintained they acted on public safety ground after the court ruled the building unsafe, and the mayor of Badalona, Xavier Garcia, publicly announced the eviction, reiterating his top stance on irregular settlements. Under the judicial ruling, the town hall must provide access to social services for those displaced, but is not required to guarantee housing for all. Local advocates expressed concern that many evicted people may end up without shelter in cold weather, warning that eviction without alternative could worsen the plight of vulnerable migrants. Some temporary accommodation assistance has been offered, with a small number receiving shelter through municipal and regional services, but advocates say these resources fall far short of the need. The eviction highlights broader tension in Spain over migration, housing shortages, and political division between local conservative and the national government on how to balance enforcement with humanitarian concern. Evelyn Isabel reporting for BTV News.
Russian President Vladimir Putin on Wednesday warned that Moscow could seek and expand its territorial gains in Ukraine if peace negotiations fail, saying Russia is prepared to continue its campaign through military means if its demands are rejected by Kyiv and its Western allies. The report.
Putin made the remarks while addressing senior officials and staff of Russia's defense ministry, where he reviewed the progress of the war and outlined the Kremlin position on possible negotiations. He said Russia has not abandoned the idea of peace talks, but insisted that any settlement must meet Moscow's condition, which he described as essential to Russia's security and strategic interests. According to Putin, if Ukraine and its allies continue to refuse this demand, Russia will have no choice but to pursue its objectives on the battlefield. He warned that such a scenario would likely result in further Russian advances and an expansion of the areas under Moscow's control. The future course of events depends on whether our proposals are taken seriously, Putin said, adding that Russia is capable of continuing military operations for as long as necessary. He stressed that the Russian armed forces remain fully prepared and resources to carry out the campaign. Putin accused Western countries of prolonging the conflicts by supplying Ukraine with weapons, intelligence, and financial assistance. He claimed that this support has encouraged Kyiv to reject negotiations, thereby increasing the risk of escalation and further destruction. The Russian leader also defended the military campaign, saying it was launched to protect Russia's national interests and to counter what he described as security threats along Russian borders. He maintained that Moscow's goals have not changed and will be achieved either through diplomacy or force. The warning comes amid continued heavy fighting across several regions of Ukraine, with both Russian and Ukrainian forces reporting ongoing clashes. While Russia claims it has consolidated control over some areas, Ukraine insists it will continue to resist and reclaim occupied territory. Western governments have repeatedly stated that any peace talk must be based on respect for Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Ukrainian officials have also said they will not accept conditions that involve ceding territory or limiting the country's right to choose its own security arrangements. Putin's statement underscores the fragile prospects for diplomacy and highlights the risk of a prolonged conflict as both sides remain entrenched in their positions with no immediate breakthrough in sight. Evelyn Isabel reporting for BTV News.
And now to the entertainment world. Comedian Dion has responded after fashion entrepreneur Vicky James mentioned him during a cooking podcast, a comment many viewers interpreted as subtle shade. The remark reignited online conversations with social media users debating whether the reference was dismissive of the comedian. Also, Will Smith visits Antarctica with ex-Ruby star in 7-continent adventure. The report.
Reacting to the attention, Dion disclosed that he and Vicky James had a brief relationship shortly after his return from Big Brother Naija in 2018. He said there was no bad blood between them, explaining that the relationship ended due to personality differences rather than conflict. Dion described Vicky James as a good person, but said he struggled with what he perceived as controlling tendencies during their time together. He stressed that he has moved on and only addressed the issue because his name was mentioned publicly, sparking mixed reactions online over whether he was right to speak out. Singer Davido caused excitement during a Twitch live stream when he urged platform CEO Dan Clancy to raise content creator Kataifi's potential deal to $1 million. The moment occurred during a live session hosted by Kataifi, who had invited Davido to join him. Davido spent time interacting with fans and those present before making the bold request, confidently stating that his voice carried influence. His comments immediately drew loud reactions from Kataifi, who appeared shocked and overwhelmed by the gesture. The moment quickly went viral with fans praising Davido for supporting emerging creators. Kataifi expressed gratitude for the support, adding humorously that he was glad he had not already accepted any deal. Hollywood actor Will Smith traveled to Antarctica with former Wales rugby star turned adventurer Richard Parks as part of a documentary series that follows his journey across all 7 continents. Parks served as Smith's guide during the expedition, describing the experience as special and deeply inspiring. The series, titled Pole to Pole, took 5 years to complete and is set to premiere on January 14 on National Geographic in the UK and Disney. Each episode features Smith being guided by experts, scientists and explorers as he explores different parts of the world. Park said Antarctica isolation had a profound effect on Smith, stripping life down to its essentials. While his main responsibility was ensuring Smith's safety, this included correcting risky behavior during the trip, moments which he said reflected the intense but rewarding nature of the experience captured in the show. And that's it on the entertainment news. Evelyn Israel reporting for BTV News.
And now to the world of sports. Nigeria's Super Eagles will arrive in Fez, Morocco on Thursday to continue preparations for the 2025 African Cup of Nations. The team is scheduled to depart Cairo this afternoon, according to team officer Promise Efoge, and will hold their first training session in Fez at 6 p.m. local time. The Super Eagles began their AFCON preparations in Cairo on Monday and suffered a 2-1 defeat to Egypt in an international friendly at the Cairo International Stadium on Tuesday. The match formed part of the team's build-up to the tournament under head coach Eric Chell. Nigeria, 3-time African champions, are drawn in Group C alongside Tanzania, Tunisia and Uganda. They will face Tanzania in their opening match next Tuesday before clashes with Tunisia on December 27th and Uganda on December 30th. All of Nigeria's group matches will be played at the Grand Stade de Fez. Still on sports, the Nigerian Football Federation is set to miss out of the huge financial outlay by FIFA for teams participating at next year's World Cup following the Super Eagles' failure to qualify for what is usually regarded as the greatest show on earth. The Super Eagles World Cup campaign ended in disappointment after the loss in the final round of the playoffs to DR Congo, crashing out just short of qualification. The setback not only denied Nigeria a ticket to the Mudai, but also shut out the country's significant financial rewards attached to the participation. The World Soccer ruling body said the prize money for next year's World Cup will be 50% higher than the previous edition after agreeing a record of $727 million financial contribution to the tournament on Wednesday. The biggest slice of FIFA's funding package for the North American showpiece, $655 million, will be performance-based payments to 48 participating nations, with the champions taking $50 million and the runners-up taking $33 million. This means that the NFF will miss at least $10.5 million if the team had qualified for the Mundai, but that would not be unless the Federation is able to push through its protest on the alleged ineligibility of some of the Congolese players in the ill-fated playoff encounter in November. FIFA's council also confirmed festival-style youth tournaments for under-15s open to all member associations to commence in 2026 with a boys' event followed by a girls' competition in 2027. Many thanks for staying with us on BTV Major News at 6. My name is Temitope Oluwafemi. Do have a lovely night.